So welcome to my allotment. It's the middle of April and today I'm going to be taking a little tour around my plot so you can see what's going on, and I'd love to hear how your plots are going on as well. Now if you've not already subscribed to my channel, if you could please do so, because you'll get lots of helpful hints and tips all throughout the year from my allotment, my home garden, and from time to time my home kitchen. Now the weather is a little bit changeable at the moment. Yesterday when we were up here it was really cold, and today it's early in the morning but it's already warmer than it was yesterday, and we're set to have a real scorcher, so it's a real thing to be mindful about what you're putting out this time of year. It's really tempting to get lulled into a false sense of security and putting plants out before they're ready. So just make sure you keep an eye on the weather. We have the Met Office app on our phones and it helps us keep track of what the weather is doing. Now you can probably hear that spring is definitely on the way with the birds. We've got a robin that's constantly chirping in at the moment, which is fantastic to hear, together with some other birds in the background, which is a really positive sign that things are moving on. Now let's start looking around the plot so you can see what's going on here. So the rhubarb, if you watched my rhubarb or my video recently, I'd actually forced some rhubarb, which I finished doing, and I've picked it and I've now removed the forcer, because you don't want to keep forcing your rhubarb. But the rhubarb on the other side, which wasn't forced, has completely overtaken anything that I forced. Absolutely gigantic stems there, so I'm going to have to put my thinking cap on what I'm going to do with those. Last year I made a rhubarb curry and I made some rhubarb cookies really recently, which were really fantastic. So if you do a bit of googling, there are some really fun things you can be doing with your rhubarb. My pear tree is looking absolutely beautiful. It's just about to burst into bud and that looks absolutely glorious, so I'm hoping that neither the birds nor the frost negatively affect that, but at the moment it's looking absolutely wonderful. And my Bramley apple tree is a little bit slower to the party, but you can just see the buds are just starting to form there, and I don't think I'll have quite so much bloom on that, but still plenty. There's lots coming along there, and my globe artichokes are coming on nicely. I do need to tidy up and weed around this area. It's one of those things that often, I'm sure you know what it's like on your allotments, we can't do everything at once, and they grow anyway with the weeds, but I will tidy that area up hopefully very soon. So let's move round to the raspberries. So these are definitely, which were just small buds and little leaves just popping out about a month ago, we're actually getting a lot more lush growth on those, so they're looking absolutely fantastic. So I've got quite a few summer fruiting raspberries there. That's my cherry tree, which has got lots of lovely little buds on it, which, if I'm honest, I've never really had that many cherries from it, but you never know, this year might be the year. I've also got another apple tree just there, which is again all starting to bud beautifully but not quite out in bloom yet. And I've got my gooseberries here, which I do need to cover, which I haven't yet, but as you can see, lots of little buds forming on there. No little gooseberries yet, I don't think, but it won't be far off, and that's when I do need to cover it, because once the little gooseberries start to form, the birds will just eat them. So they're a lot more susceptible than lots of other things. You think with all those prickles, those gooseberries, that the birds will stay away from them, but they don't. I'm still digging my carrots here. They're not the best carrots in the world, but they're my carrots and they're still edible. And I've got some parsnips here as well. Again, not the best parsnips in the world, but they're my parsnips and they're very edible. We've also got another exciting addition to the allotment. I've got a new raised bed which we put up recently. Fortunately my son is off school at the moment, so my husband and son, the three of us, all came up here together and put this together, and I've actually got some seeds in it already. We're trying, I don't buy compost to put in it because it costs a lot of money. It costs as much as the bed would cost itself. So we layered it up with various things. We put some old broken up bits of wood in the bottom. We also used the cardboard that the box came in to initially line it with. We then put the wood on, we were very fortunate to get lots of manure delivered, horse manure delivered to our allotment. So most of that is horse manure, and then on the top is compost from my compost heap. So my hope is that it's created a bit of warmth and the seeds and everything in it will grow a little bit quicker, but we'll see. I have popped some seeds in, and I've labelled them because I wouldn't remember, even though it was only a few days ago. I've got coriander in there, I've got parsley in there, I've got mixed salad leaves, I've got mustard leaf, I've got radish, and I've also got radish leaf in there. So obviously they've only been put in there a few days, so we've not got anything yet. I cover it because the birds will often nip the little sprouting seeds off. we use this scaffolding net that we get off Amazon, which is really, really good. So we will put a link up on the screen if you need anything to cover your young seedlings with. We use it for seedlings, we use it for covering brassicas, we use it for all different sorts of tasks, and because it's so useful and so multi-purpose, and a lot cheaper than a lot of the other netting up there. So like I said, we'll put a link up on the screen and also one in the description. I should also say that I've got another 2 of these Vegega beds here, which if you're regular viewers, you've probably seen them before. I've got some garlic in here, which they're doing quite well. I've got a little bit of rust, but we often get a little bit, to be fair. I don't think I've ever gone through a year without any at all. Hopefully they'll still produce nice bulbs, and my blueberries in this one as well, which absolutely look fantastic, and I will have to cover those at some point as well, because I'm sure if the birds got their way they would nibble through those. These Vegega beds, we've got 2 of these a little while ago, and obviously we've just recently got those ones. I really like them, and they're so easy to assemble. Most of them come so you can make them in several different shapes, and we've just chosen what we wanted to do with each different one. If you'd like one of the Vegega beds, I am an ambassador for the Vegega, and we'll put a link up on the screen and one in the description, and I believe if you click on my link you do get a little bit of a discount as well. So if you're thinking about getting raised beds, I certainly really like mine, and they're doing a really good job for me. So if we move down, we've got my overwintering onions and my spring onions, my spring planting onions, not spring onions, spring planted onions. So, which seem to be doing really quite well. Unfortunately the birds seem to have had a little bit of a nibble, which they do. There's not a lot you can do about it. I net a lot of things, but you can't net everything, and I genuinely find they'll have a little bit of a nibble, but they won't obliterate them. So I've given them a little bit of a water because it's been unseasonably dry here as well, and I'm sure they'll pick up soon as well. So just behind us we've got some spinach here as well, which typically it normally would have gone to seed by now, but it still seems to keep producing. So all the while it keeps producing, I'll keep eating it. I've still got some spinach at home. I've got quite a lot going on actually. I've got some seedlings in my conservatory under my grow lights, which are doing really brilliantly. The grow lights are a new addition this year, which I'd always tried without, and although I managed, it was a little bit tricky with things getting a little bit leggy, and I found they have really done a good job. So you can see that they're doing really brilliantly and really flourishing. If you want to get one of those grow lamps, or 2 like I've got, there is a link coming up on the screen, and there will be one in the description as well if you'd like to purchase them for you. They're under £20, and I wish I'd purchased them sooner, if I'm really honest with you. In the greenhouse things are coming on really well as well. I've got some geraniums that I've actually got from a garden centre, which I'm growing on. I've got my broccoli that I've potted on, which I won't put out yet because it's too small and it needs to be hardened off anyway. I've got some leeks there, I've got some onions, and my peas are doing really well in the greenhouse as well. So things are really starting to come on nicely. Also in my my sub pod, which is the thing I compost in at home for all my scraps from my kitchen, the herbs in that, and again the spinach in that, is really flourishing. So typically I would have probably pulled that out by now, but they're doing so incredibly well. I thought I might as well just leave them in there, keep enjoying how lovely they look, and keep enjoying how lovely they taste as well. So I'm quite impressed actually how well things are kind of bouncing back already. We've got an area here that I've covered because we haven't got anything planted in it at the moment. I do this for 2 reasons. One, I cover it because it stops the weeds from growing, which makes it a lot easier to manage, and 2, it also keeps it a little bit warmer and moister underneath as well, and I find that quite beneficial when I do then need to work on the soil when it does come time to plant. I'm not kind of like catching my tail with trying to clear weeds and sort things out, so this kind of helps me keep my allotment under control. Like I say, we do have an allotment shop with Amazon, and we do have to tell you we do make a little bit of money out of it, but if you would like to get any of the ground cover or any of the other things that I talk about, there will be a link up on the screen for this, and also one in the description if you'd like to do that. I've got to say I use it year after year after year, so it does last a long time. I've also got some more gooseberries here, so same thing with those. I will need to get those covered at some point. I've also got a little bit of, you know, weeding to do, like we all have to do. There's always one patch that you never quite get to, which I'm sure I'll get to that soon. I've got another little bit that's covered here. And down in this bottom bit, I've got 3 rows of potatoes. So I have decided to put all my potatoes in. And if you haven't got your potatoes in, this month is a really good month to do it. I have here Arran Pilot, which is a first early. I have Charlotte, which is a second early. I have Kestrel, which is a second early, and I also have Maris Piper. I haven't earthed them up yet. I always think I'm going to earth them up a little bit when I first put them in, but I don't. I earth them up as they start to grow, to be honest. The first earlies and the second earlies don't need earthing up anywhere as near as much as a main crop, just as a general rule of thumb. And I will be honest, I have sunk them down a little bit deeper, so it's kind of a bit like earthing up. Obviously don't bury them down too deep, but it means that they stay a little bit warmer if it gets a little bit cold. There's another example of what you can do with the ground cover actually. You can plant through it. I've never planted strawberries through mine, but I have planted my squashes through it before. So again, it's another way of keeping those weeds down. You know, when you're really busy, you know, it's great to be able to mulch and to be able to weed all the time, but sometimes you have to do a mixture of lots of different things to keep. I've got an area that's completely mulched up the top, but trying to do the whole lot, sometimes we can't manage it, and something like that just gives you a little bit of an edge to help you look after your allotment when you're busy, like most of us are. The other thing I've got in is some broad beans. So I overwintered some broad beans and they did terribly, absolutely terribly. So I've planted some more, which is a really good time this month to plant some more beans. I soaked them overnight in some water, I drained them off, I put them between some wet tissue. As soon as they sprouted, I've just popped them in the ground. They are Aqua Dulce variety. They're quite a good reliable variety, and they can tolerate it being a little bit colder at the beginning of the year. So they're a really good one to start with. If you're wondering what other things you can be sowing and planting this time of the year, there is a link up on the screen of what to sow and plant.